Welcome back, one and all, to the lovely Marietta Ice Center here in Marietta, Georgia, for the second of a 2-game-in-a-row stint for us here at home, Andrew. It's Kennesaw State Fighting Owls taking on the University of Florida Crocodiles.
Or Gators.
I prefer Crocodiles.
Matt, I wouldn't say a 2-game homestand. I'd say about a game and a third, considering last game ended after the first period.
The last game did in fact get canceled almost?
That's a third, right? I've never been good at fractions.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at those myself.
I don't know what the official scorebooks say about last game, but what I do know is that we were up 1-0 after the first period. So in my book, which isn't the official one, sadly, that's a W.
Yeah, that counts. That 100% counts.
So we're 1-0 here in Marietta this
Yes,
weekend.
indeed. 1-0, back from the winter break. Andrew, go ahead and take us away with that play-by-play.
Absolutely, as Drew Spysinski's in on the face-off for Kennesaw State, and it ends up in the possession of Wes Davis as he flings it back into the right side corner in Florida's zone. Florida, back in the far side corner. It's picked up by Bright and spun on over to Spysinski, not before it's controlled by a Florida Gator. Spysinski throws a wrist shot straight past the net, and Evan Deere will go to the corner to try to corral it. Deere in the corner, centering pass for Spysinski. Spysinski!
Oh, my!
What was that, 23 seconds into the game, Drew Spysinski off a beautiful assist from Evan Deere. Amazing play. 23 seconds into the game, Kennesaw is on the board. 1-0. Matt, that was quick.
They wasted absolutely no time on that one, Andrew. Before we could even get the words out of our mouths, 23 seconds into the game, they put one in the back of the Florida net. I'll tell you what, if this is any indication, it's shaping up to be a long day for the Florida Crocodiles.
Hopefully longer than that drive they took up here. Matt, do you think they drove or flew? How much money does Florida hockey have?
I did not see a team bus.
Ooh.
So it's a possibility that they flew.
Ooh, okay.
But
Tristan Gagne, a long slap shot from the near side point, is caught in the glove by Florida's goaltender, Ryan Rosengard.
They caught him sleeping on that first one, but you know what he had this time, Andrew?
What did he have, Matt?
He had his Rosengard up.
I'm so tempted to just leave the broadcast table right now. Ian McDonald in on the face-off of Kennesaw zone, tips it on back to Vanderkerkhoff as he wraps it around the boards. Attempted for Tisdale, but Florida controls. Florida, full head steam up ice, is taken away by Ian McDonald as he throws it up ice to Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff over the blue line. Down the left side of the ice, the centering pass for Testino is tipped away, but back to Berezinski. A slap shot off the goaltender and almost rebounded in by McDonald, but it hit the other way. Florida manages to get it out in neutral ice, not before Kennesaw chips it right back in. Testino going around behind the goaltender to chase it down. A nice little check there behind the goaltender as a fanned clear attempt goes back to the stick of Berezinski. Berezinski up to Testino. Testino off the boards to McDonald. McDonald back to Testino. A backhanded pass in front is stopped by the goaltender and collected by Florida. Florida once again fails to clear back onto the stick of Berezinski as he dumps it straight back in. McDonald. Nice little check there, knocks the Florida Gator down to the ice as the puck is sent careening all the way back down to the Kennesaw State zone, where we will have an icing. With 18:26 left to go in the first period, KSU with an early lead, 1-0.
And I'll tell you what, in addition to that early lead, they have spent the vast majority of this game thus far, even though it's only been a minute and change, in the offensive zone, Andrew. They are applying all of the pressure they can.
And it's paid off 23 seconds into the game as Tisdale wins this faceoff. Tisdale to Bright. A shot is tipped up high in the net where Tisdale collects on the near side boards. Tisdale, a weird angle shot, almost gets punched off the outside of the cage, but it goes around the left side corner. Moran, behind the goaltender, gets shoved off the puck where a Florida Gator collects it in the near side corner. And a hard check there by Isaiah Arnold as Tisdale fights for possession of the puck.
Ooh.
Another hard check there by Ryan Moran. Kennesaw State obviously brought their physicality to the game today, along with their goal scoring as Tristan Gagne has it in the center of the ice. A wrist shot punched aside there by Ryan Rosengard as Florida collects and sends it back up ice.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, it looks like they brought their everything today, and you know what we call that? Their A-game.
Ryan Moran, a slap shot from the near side point, in and out of the Florida goaltender's glove, and back behind the net. Florida collects on the near side boards off the skate of Tisdale and sent all the way back down the ice. It will not be an icing as a Kennesaw State Owl touched it. Florida back in Kennesaw State zone for probably the first time today, as they end up behind Luke Thurston with the puck, and a attempted centering pass is turned aside by a stick of it looked like Drew Spysinski, as Spysinski sends it around the boards for Isaiah Arnold. Arnold attempts to throw it ahead, but is collected by a Florida Gator as it sends it back onto the Kennesaw State zone, where Luke Thurston will play this one. Thurston gives it on back to Gagne. Gagne sends it up ice. Almost a great pass to Evan Deere, but it was tipped aside before it can get there. A backhanded pass in front to Bright, but 2 Florida Gators collapsed before it can get there.
They tried getting cheeky, Kennesaw did, with that full ice pass, but I'll tell you what, it almost paid off. That was very close to actually working.
Good look by Tristan Gagne, and Evan Deere with a steal and a centering pass attempt is knocked aside before it can get to Spicinski. Berezinski now. Back to Spicinski. A shot, turns out in front, a rebound attempt is stopped by Ryan Rosengard. A solid rebound attempt there by one of the Bright brothers, that is Mitchell Bright. 16:41 left to go in the first period, as we will have another offensive zone faceoff for KSU. Ian McDonald in to take this one, wins it cleanly, back to Vanderkerkhoff, and back up to McDonald.
It looks like it took Ian McDonald little to no effort to actually win that faceoff.
He won it pretty cleanly, as Vanderkerkhoff skates with it in the middle of the ice, trying to find an angle here, and eventually throws it on back to the far side point for Berezinski. Berezinski kicks it to himself, but turns it on over to the Florida Gators as they start to push up ice, but off the back of their own skate before it can even leave Florida's zone. A scrum now at center ice where Wes Davis ends up with it. Nice bit of stick handling there. Neatly dodges 2 Florida Gators and throws it on up to Berezinski, where it will be fanned on back and given on to Wes Davis. Davis now in the KSU zone, gives it on back to Berezinski. Berezinski crosses neutral ice, over the blue line, fakes a dump, and gives it on back to Davis. Davis a pass on over, off the glove of Ian McDonald, and a Florida Gator will go and collect it.
We have a broken stick on the ice as well. I believe that is Florida. But
And we'll have an offside. So a neutral zone face-off now with 15:33, and the clock has not stopped. The operator does not know how to work a clock apparently, but 15:32 left to go in this first period. And we have a neutral zone face-off between Aaron Tisdale and a guy that's not on the roster for Florida.
Oh, is he not?
Well, not on my roster, at least.
Yikes.
I don't have the most updated rosters in the world. A centering pass for Aaron Tisdale is thrown wide of the net.
You know, I'll take this time while KSU is battling and a big hit laid down there by Tisdale. I will take this time to give a PSA to all of the college hockey teams out there. Update your online rosters, please. We live on those.
Doesn't seem like a big deal to everyone. They just focus on playing more than updating the rosters. Florida, back in their own zone, throws it on back to neutral ice where it's collected by one of the 2 Berezinskis and thrown back in to the corner. Florida has possession of their own zone, but not before it's stopped by Berezinski, and Spicinski just jumps right over his stick, and Florida has it behind their own goaltender. Florida, a pass off the wall, another pass off the wall, back to the stick of Berezinski, but it hops right over his stick and has to retreat into his own zone. Berezinski a pass on up to Spicinski, up the center ice for Evan Deere, but it's turned over to a Florida Gator, and we will have a tripping call on KSU, and that is the first penalty of the game, and Florida will be on the power play for 2 minutes.
Wow, he took like a full tumble.
He had some air for a couple seconds.
That was incredible. It was like Cirque du Soleil.
On ice. It was
on,
beautiful.
On ice, the movie. It was incredible. All right, but I'll tell you what, Andrew, we are no strangers to this situation we found ourselves in. Florida with a fresh 2 minutes here against Kennesaw State of a man advantage.
I think last game, or really last period of hockey against Trine University, I think we had 4 or 5 penalties just in the first period alone.
It was one of the most penalized periods I've ever seen us have, Andrew.
It was quite a bit, as Kennesaw gets their first clear of the penalty kill with 14:20 left to go, and Bright doing a good job disrupting as Gagne lets the puck go back into his zone to kill some more time. Bright on over to Wes Davis, and Davis throws it all the way up through the glove of a Florida Gator back down to the near side corner of the Florida zone. Florida trying to find an angle here on this KSU penalty kill as they cross neutral ice and blast it back in to chase it down as Thurston stops it behind his own cage. Davis throws it on back out to McDonald, and McDonald sends it almost length of the ice, but it's controlled by Deere as he crosses the blue line. Evan Deere trying to find a way around the Florida defenseman, and does. A centering pass just out of reach of McDonald, but it's tapped on over by Gagne to McDonald, and KSU throws it back out of the zone. Had a bit of an attack there on the penalty kill with 1:03 left to go in the penalty.
And I'll tell you what, Andrew, that whole series started with Luke Thurston making the heads-up play to get behind his own goal while there were attackers in his zone and stop that puck from making its way around the
Just
trap
killed
zone.
every bit of momentum that Florida had coming into the KSU zone.
Yes, indeed.
45 seconds left to go on the power play now, with 13-16 left to go in the period as Florida throws a shot on goal, but stopped easily by Thurston. Florida at the left point. Throws it back down to the wing, back up to the point, and a slap shot put way wide of the cage as McDonald tries to track that one down. Florida gets to a first, and a shot looks like off the pipe of Luke Thurston, but is thrown back to the corner. Florida at the high point, stopped by a skate of Ian McDonald. McDonald on the push now. He's known for his quickness.
Oh, he's so
all the way
fast.
back up. Around the cage, centering pass for Bright, and Bright just fanned out on a backhander. He loses control of it, but no, he managed to sit down on the puck. A great opportunity there, even though it was short-handed, started by the sheer quickness of Ian McDonald.
That was absolutely incredible to watch. Ian McDonald with the foot race down there behind the net to collect that puck and center it to Mason Bright, who fanned on the initial shot, but was able to turning backhand it on goal. The goalie had no idea where it had went, and he ended up just sitting on it incidentally.
Yeah,
Very easily could have been a goal.
Rosengard got lucky there just by sitting on the puck as Evan Deere intercepts a pass, as this penalty will expire in 1 second with 12:30 left to go in the first period. Back to full-strength hockey as Florida pushes up ice on a hard check there by Drew Spysinski as Wes Davis goes behind Luke Thurston to collect the puck. Davis throws it on over to Berezynski as he throws it almost the length of the ice, almost controlled there by Bright, and that will be an offsides unless Bright can get back, and he does. Deere waits patiently, collects a pass on up to Spysinski, and a shot off the glove of Ryan Rosengard. A good shot there by Drew Spysinski. Berezynski off the glass, on down behind the net. Spysinski, a centering pass, shot off the crossbar by Evan Deere. Another great look there, and an off-angle shot there by Bright, trying to push it into the net. Bodies all over the crease, as eventually we have a stoppage of play, and Evan Deere getting after it after the play almost shoves two people into a net.
Little bit of extracurricular activity. Whoops, as I disconnect my own set of headphones. Little bit of, that's how excited it had me, Andrew. I can't even hear myself speak.
Just a bit of a gentleman's disagreement in front of the net, Matt. Nothing big.
I would agree with you had I knew what you were saying. Give me one moment.
It looks like it's going to be a penalty on... Is that a penalty on Evan Deere? They're opening the door for him. And yes, Evan Deere will go to the box for that hit after the whistle. And Florida will also send a man to the box, so we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes with 11:54 left to go in the first period.
Gotta love that 4-on-4, Andrew. And I'll tell you what, that was a little chippy there. 11:54 to play in the first period, and it's already getting a little chippy out here. I'll tell you what, I will sign up for that any day of the week.
Liking the physicality.
100%.
Aaron Tisdale in to collect this face-off as it's tipped over to Max Haas, who throws it on back to Wes Davis. Davis, attempted pass for Tisdale, goes between his legs as Florida pushes up ice and knocked down. Great coordination there by Gagne as Haas collects and starts to push up ice. Haas in the Florida zone, a centering pass off the skate, intended for Tisdale as he does collect it and gives it on back to Wes Davis. Wes Davis on over to Gagne. Gagne, a centering pass to Haas. Haas, a shot off the skate. Another good chance for Kennesaw State as it's thrown all the way back into KSU zone where Davis will chase it down. 1:30 left to go on this 4-on-4 play of hockey with 11:20 left to go in the first period as Gagne controls it on the near side corner of his own zone. Wes Davis up to Haas. Haas on up to Tisdale. Neatly touches it into the Florida zone as he goes to the far side corner to collect a centering pass off the stick of the goaltender as Haas tries to rebound that one and does. Gagne on over to Davis. Davis' slap shot didn't get all of it as Tisdale attempts a backhanded centering pass. A nice little play there by Tisdale, just no one was home to receive. Florida making the push-up ice down the far side of the ice, and a shot redirected off of Thurston's stick almost to the mesh, but remains in play with 55 seconds left to go on this 4-on-4 play. Gagne glides smoothly into the Florida zone as he goes around the goaltender Rosengard, back up to the top for Berezynski, and a fake slap shot back to Gagne. And Gagne lets one go and just wide of the net, but Berezynski's on the opposite side of the ice to collect it. Berezynski twists around back the boards for Ian McDonald, and looking for a centering pass, but too many Florida Gators in the way as he spins around neatly, but back taps it to Jeremy Vandekerkhoff. Vandekerkhoff back to McDonald. A centering pass attempted for Vandekerkhoff, but it's tipped away by a Florida Gator, but it's collected by Berezynski and back to McDonald. McDonald, an attempted pass for Vandekerkhoff, but it goes through his skate, but he collects it anyway. Vandekerkhoff on the near side circle with 10 seconds left to go on 4-on-4 hockey, 10 minutes flat left to go, and a pass to Berezynski, a hard slap shot just wide of the net, but Bright is there to collect. Bright, another centering pass, and another slap shot by Berezynski, but he didn't get all of it this time, but McDonald once again gets the rebound, and a pass back to the corner. The penalty is expired. We have some full-strength hockey now as the pass goes to Bright, and a slap shot bouncing puck set in front of the net. Vandekerkhoff gets the rebound. Vandekerkhoff on the near side boards. Skates cleanly to the middle of the ice and taps it on over to Moran. Moran guides it back along the boards to McDonald as McDonald fights for control of this one. He does end up with it, skates to the middle of the ice. A pass on back to Bright. Bright, a hard wrist shot goes wide of the net, and Moran trying to track this one down. Moran does get there first as he taps it on back to Berezynski, and another slap shot bouncing. Puck caught in the equipment of the goaltender, and he once again just sits on it as he loses control for the second time in this possession, Matt.
I'll tell you what, if Kennesaw State continues playing as aggressively and as well in the offensive zone as they have been here tonight, then it is only a matter of time, Andrew, before they absolutely dominate this scoreboard with more than a 1-0.
I mean, he's had to make 2 sitting saves. And by sitting, I mean just literally planting his butt right on the puck to avoid it going into the net. But we have 9:10 left to go in the first period. KSU with all of the momentum. And that's a centering pass by Aaron Tisdale for Ryan Moran. A fantastic play, only a few seconds in off of the faceoff with 9:06 left to go in the first period as KSU takes a 2-0 lead.
And I'll tell you what, Andrew, I had just said it. It was only a matter of time before Kennesaw State managed to put one in the back of the net, and they do so off of a great face-off play where they find, who was that? Was that Bright?
That was Moran.
Oh, Moran. They find Moran right in front of the net for a wide-open piece of pie.
I don't know if that was his first goal of the season, but I know I haven't seen him score yet this year, so that might be his first home goal because, Matt, we only go to select away games. Only when we're sponsored.
In your area.
But we're not sponsored, so we only went to 2 of them.
Never been sponsored.
Never. But if you're looking to sponsor,
absolutely,
you know where to find us. 9 minutes even left to go in the first period as KSU takes the 2-goal lead, but the puck is tipped on back to Evan Deere, but it's thrown back near the KSU zone for Wes Davis. Davis back up to Deere. A 3-on-2 rush. Deere neatly avoids all of the check there, but only takes some of it and stays on his skates. Florida loses control of his stick. Looks like a crack in the goal, and a shot score by Evan Deere, short side, top shelf. That was unassisted. Evan Deere just absolutely schooled Ryan Rosengard there with a top shelf wrist shot rocket. Sent straight past the goaltender for KSU's 3rd goal of the first period, not even the game.
They hit him with the old razzle-dazzle, Andrew. We call that one a slice and dice. You okay?
I'm great. I'm just marveling in that puck placement there by Evan Deere as Florida wins the faceoff.
It was immaculate.
But Deere is right there to contest. Deere in the near side corner gives it on over to Spycinski, but Florida takes control as they make the push up past the blue line. Florida ducks their way into KSU zone, and a 3-man check there by KSU sends a couple people down to the ice as Bright and his brother Bright that's Wes Davis, excuse me. I saw a 0 on the back of the jersey as now Evan Deere goes up across neutral ice. Deere fakes a move and gets poked off the puck there for Florida control. Evan Deere looking for a trip there, but we're probably not going to get that call considering we're up 3-1 in the first, 3-0 in the first period.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, that check down in the Kennesaw State zone by Spycinski, it looked like he was a bowling ball just knocking over a set of pins. It was incredible.
He even caught some of his own guys. He was so spread apart there for that check. Testino now dumps it back into the Florida zone for Vanderkerkhoff to chase it down. Vanderkerkhoff wins the foot race and throws it to the center of the ice where Berezynski will collect at the high point. Berezynski, a wrist shot, redirected by John Testino for a 4th goal of the first period. Past the goaltender, Ryan Rosengard.
Oh, no.
Pass up top by Berezynski. Attempted shot, but just redirected in by Testino. So Berezynski will pick up the assist as KSU takes a 4-0 lead with 7:35 left to go in the first period.
I'll tell you what, Andrew. I might need to go throw some pads on and play goalie for Florida because this is just horrendous. I feel bad.
Just not even get on skates. Just be on shoes down there.
Dude, are you kidding me? I will rock that goal in my Nike Air Force.
They might be doing a better job with 7:30 left to go in the first period as they've already let through 4 goals by some fantastic offensive play from Kennesaw State.
Yeah, Kennesaw State has been absolutely dominant in the offensive zone thus far in this game. However, Florida needs to tighten up their game and really ratchet down if they want to have any hope of even thinking about getting back into this game.
Absolutely, as KSU brings their whole team down to the Florida zone, where Vanderkerkhoff will control in the center of the ice. A wrist shot off the stomach of a Florida Gator, where it is Tristan Gagne that collects it, and the puck is tipped up high off the glass for Ian McDonald to collect in the corner. McDonald gives it on back to Gagne. Gagne, a hard wrist shot, almost goes 5-hole, just nearly makes that save as he throws it back up across the ice for Tristan Gagne to control in his own zone. Tristan Gagne up to John Testino as Testino throws it back to get some fresh legs on the ice. Florida, behind their goaltender, Isaiah Arnold in the pressure. A cross-ice pass, nobody home as Bright goes back to his own zone to retrieve that and skates on back to deliver it to Wes Davis. Davis back over to Bright in their own zone. KSU trying to find if they can get a 5th goal on the board in the first period as Isaiah Arnold controls over the blue line. Arnold, a wrist shot snapped up by the glove of Rosengard.
Oh, my goodness. And I don't know if our scoreboard goes this high because they are on pace for a pretty huge amount of goals.
Well, we'll see if we can do just that today. With 6:19 left to go in the first period, Aaron Tisdale wins the faceoff cleanly but throws it straight back into his own zone where Davis will chase that one down. Davis, behind Thurston, gives it on over to Bright. Bright up to Tisdale. Tisdale to Arnold. Arnold throws it all the way back into Florida zone where Moran will go and find this one. Moran dodges a check, but the Florida Gators collect the puck, but not before it can be saved by Wes Davis. Attempted clear there, just barely gets out of the zone where Tisdale will find it and bring it right back in. Tisdale on the far side corner, nice little move there, ducking a Florida check. As Moran has it, a centering pass in front for Isaiah Arnold, puts it just past the left post of the cage, and now Moran will try to track it down in the corner. Moran in the near side corner from one knee gives it on back to Arnold. Arnold goes to the center of the ice and a pass back up to Gagne. Gagne, a long-range wrist shot, trickles to the corner for Ryan Moran. Moran spins it along the boards for Isaiah Arnold to fight for possession as he puts it straight back behind the boards again for Moran. Moran loses control, gives it on over to Florida as they push it back up to neutral ice. Not before he is thudded to the boards there by Tristan Gagne. I think the whole arena shook on that one.
Dude, I felt that.
That is a large guy right there throwing his weight around on the ice. So that check cannot feel good.
No, absolutely not.
We will have a stoppage in play. It looks like, is that an offside? That is an offside.
Darn it.
So we'll have a neutral zone face-off with 5:02 left to go in the first period. KSU up 4-0 in the first period. This is Matt Butler, the new guy, in on the face-off as Florida takes this one and plays with it in their own zone as they cross the first blue line. Max Haas attempts to defend there, but a shot put on goal by Florida as it's stopped easily by Luke Thurston. Thurston has not had much to do tonight, Matt.
No, he's just been able to sit back, chilling out, maxing, and relaxing all cool.
He's probably just back in his goal, just checking Twitter.
He's probably back
what's going on.
He's probably back in his own net, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna finish that.
Oh yeah, you should.
Tristan Gagne collects behind Luke Thurston as Gagne spins away 3 times from the same Florida defenseman and gives it on over to Berezinski. Berezinski, a pass off the boards, up for Haas, but it is tipped and shot straight up into the mesh by a Florida Gator, and we will have yet another neutral zone faceoff.
Yes, indeed, Andrew. I'll tell you what, Florida's managed to do something in terms of get it down into their own offensive zone, but I hesitate to say that is a result of the Florida effort that is now being put in. I would really posit that that's more a result of Kennesaw State kind of sitting comfortably in this 4-goal lead.
I mean, I'd be pretty confident if I had a 4-goal lead, too. Except I don't play hockey, Matt. I just call the games.
You and me both, my friend.
Evan Deere off of a pass from Bright. He gets shoved off the puck there as Bright throws it all the way around the boards where Deere will try to go and collect it. Deere fights for control and wins as he's in the near side corner, gets tangled up in some equipment, not before he can get to Spycinski, who gets stonewalled by the ref. Berezinski throws it back to Spycinski, a shot off the pads of Ryan Rosengard as Bright redirects it back on to Spycinski behind the cage. Spycinski in a fight right now behind the cage for control of the puck as Bright comes in to lend a hand and comes up with it. Bright, a bank pass on, is intercepted by a Florida Gator as they start to push up ice. Wes Davis on back to tap this one over. And in a scrum now in the near side corner in Kennesaw zone as Evan Deere takes a shot from number 87 there up high, but no call. Wes Davis ends up with possession. He throws it all the way back to Evan Deere off the boards, and it bounces all the way back down to the Florida zone, where it will be no icing as Evan Deere won the foot race. Wes Davis, a centering pass, almost tipped in by Deere, but just a little bit wide as Isaiah Arnold comes up possession of this one. Throws a wrist shot in front off the equipment of a Florida Gator, and it is controlled by Berezinski. Berezinski throws it on back to the near side corner where Isaiah Arnold will try to chase it down, but cannot get there in time. Puck thrown back to the KSU zone, where Wes Davis will bank one off the boards for Ryan Moran, but just a bit too far as Florida collects it. Florida throws a streak back onto the stick of Berezynski as Moran comes in to take control. Moran, a pass on up. Isaiah Arnold gets this one in the Florida zone, and a centering pass for Tisdale is knocked away by a Florida Gator before it can get there. Florida moving up ice past the neutral zone, and a long wrist shot there punched away by Luke Thurston as Moran takes a check and falls down, but the puck's still at neutral ice as it's thrown all the way back to the stick of Luke Thurston behind his own cage. Berezynski throws a pass all the way around the boards where Bright will collect this one and try to clear it, but no, it is stopped by a Florida Gator as it's thrown in front and turned aside by Luke Thurston once again. Testino chasing this one down at the high points and just out of reach of a Florida Gator as Testino tries to collect it, and it is Vanda Kirchhoff that comes up with this one. Vanda Kirchhoff moving a 2-on-1 break past Testino. Testino tips it almost in, just stopped by the glove hand of Ryan Rosengard. Another good opportunity there for KSU. 1:30 left to go in the period as Ian McDonald has it in the Florida zone as Florida ends up clearing it and getting control in Kennesaw zone. A lazy shot put on goal and sticked up high by Luke Thurston into the mesh. With 1:22 left to go in the first period, score still 4-0.
An all-around pretty darn dominant first period of play here from Kennesaw State. I'm looking forward to see what they bring in these coming two periods. That is, unless more Zamboni issues occur.
Matt Butler in on this faceoff. It's controlled by Florida as they throw a shot on goal, and it's turned aside in front before it can get to Luke Thurston as Max Haas collects in the corner. 1:10 left to go in the period as Florida must retreat back into their own zone and throws it just into Kennesaw zone to try to gain some momentum back. Tristan Gagne throws it on over to Berezynski as Berezynski throws it on up to Matt Butler. Butler, nice little pass there up to Haas as Haas goes to the far side corner of Florida zone to collect it. Barnett now. A shot by Berezynski is turned aside by Ryan Rosengard as Barnett controls in the corner. Haas tips it on back to Barnett, and we have a stoppage in play. It looks like a penalty. Cross-checking, it looks like, on who?
We will find out.
Is that on Butler?
It looks like it. Yes, indeed.
That is a cross-checking penalty on Matt Butler. So that was a fresh 2 minutes for the Florida power play with 46.2 left to go in the first period. And this power play will take us straight into the second period unless anything changes, as in Florida manages to even the playing field with a penalty of their own. Spysinski. And on the faceoff for Kennesaw State. Attempted clear there by Kennesaw State, and they eventually get it out as Evan Deere looks like he'll be the first man back, unless Florida manages to get there first. Florida on the far side corner collects it. Evan Deere there to harass him. Florida attempting to get up ice, but this pressure by Deere and Spysinski is just too much as Deere knocks a man down to the ice with 25 seconds left to go in the first period. Florida back in KSU zone on the left side wing as Spysinski collects it and throws it up ice just out of reach of Evan Deere, and Florida will have it back in their own zone once again. 10 seconds left to go in this first period as a pass up ice is thrown back into Florida's zone, and it looks like they will just play catch with it until the end of the period as the last puck of the period is sticked aside by Luke Thurston, and that will bring us to the end of the first period with 1:14 left to go on this power play for the University of Florida.
I'll tell you what, Andrew. That's a period of hockey that you like to see if you're a Kennesaw State University fan. Absolutely coming into their home ice, and giving the Florida Gators the business. We will be back momentarily for the second period of play. Don't go anywhere, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Barring any Zamboni issues, we will be back momentarily. Thank you for watching once again, and stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the second period of play between the Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Florida Crocodiles. We are in the midst of an absolute shootout, but I would say it's less of a shootout, Andrew, and more of a shooting gallery. It is 4-0 Kennesaw State Fighting Owls going into this second period, and there's no reason to think that that's going to change anytime soon.
I don't know if you picked it up on the camera, but an absolutely beautiful water bottle toss there by Tristan Gagne back to his goaltender, Luke Thurston.
That was textbook, I will say.
It was. As the opening face-off, Florida still on the power play, 1:09 left to go in that. As Florida wins the face-off and overskates the puck in an immediate turnover, Ian McDonald up ice, and a shot just wide left of the goal.
And we are back in the offensive zone once again.
Welcome back to absolute domination by KSU as, wait a minute, Florida moves up the right side of the ice now. A wrist shot. Easily moved aside by the stick hand of Luke Thurston.
He made it look like it was just something he does anyway.
Well, he does. You know,
I was going to stop that puck anyway.
Well, yeah, it's like when he's in a drive-through, it's how he gets his food. Just like, just puts his hands up like that.
Yeah,
you couldn't see it because the camera's not on me, but you get the picture.
Andrew Leonard,
everyone at home,
king of visual comedy in an audio format. Thank you.
Absolutely. As 25 seconds left to go on this power play as Kennesaw tries to clear, and Tristan Gagne has it back in his own zone, retreats to kill some more time as he feathers it on over to Wes Davis, and Davis throws it the length of the ice.
It looked like he may have been trying to hit Arnold there on that cross-ice pass that would have actually netted him a one-on-one against the goalie.
Yes, it would.
Would have been incredible.
5 seconds left to go on this power play as Florida fails to make anything happen on that. I don't know if it's Florida's offense or KSU's defense is just too strong, but the power play expires. We are back to full strength with 18:40 left to go. Florida wraps it around the boards where Luke Thurston will touch it and give it on back to Wes Davis as Davis throws it the length of the ice for Spysinski as he just loses control of it. It has in the corner a centering pass for Deere is picked off before it can be collected. Kennesaw at neutral ice. Spysinski throws it back into the Florida zone as it's thrown back to center ice and just bounces over the stick of Berezinski as the Florida Gators now have it in the KSU zone on the far side boards. Not before it is poked at by Evan Deere, who manages to disrupt it just enough for Bright to gain control behind the net. Bright fought off there, but not before Spysinski comes in to gain control anyway. Spysinski throws it between a man's legs and collects it himself as he throws it on up to Aaron Tisdale. Aaron Tisdale, a back pass off the boards, back down where it's controlled at neutral ice, and given on back to Berezinski. Berezinski throws it on up to Bright. Bright can't get to it in time as Florida dumps it all the way back into the Owls zone as Berezinski goes back around, trying to collect it, but not before it is controlled by a Florida Gator. Shoved off the puck there by Evan Deere as Berezinski takes a whack at it and eventually controlled at the high point and controlled by Wes Davis, it looks like. No, yes, it is Wes Davis, but he loses an edge. Wait, no, that's not Davis. Who is that? That is James Barrett. Excuse me. James Barrett loses an edge there, and it is thrown back into the Florida zone where it will be collected by the Gators.
I'll tell you what, Florida's been doing a slightly better job this period in the offensive zone. They've just managed to get that time of possession up, and it could net them some goals, and
beautiful hit there by Aaron Barnett. Nearly puts a man into his own bench as Berezinski throws it on up to Haas with 16:50 left to go. And another check there, this time by a Florida Gator, knocks Haas down to the ice. 16:40 left to go. Haas nearly intercepts it in the zone, but it is thrown on back to Berezinski. Berezinski up along the boards, attempted for Testino, but the Gators take a whack at it, and it goes along the length of the blue line, but back into the Kennesaw zone.
That was very satisfying to watch happen.
It was. And a hard angle shot there, tipped up and into the mesh by Luke Thurston, who nets another save today, this afternoon. I was going to say tonight, then I realized, Matt, it is actually 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, indeed.
16:26 left to go in the second period. The score is still the same, 4-0 in favor of the Owls. Ian McDonald on the face-off. Throws it on back to Gagne, wins it cleanly. And now it is Vanderkerkhoff with speed up the ice and is poked out of his possession by a Florida Gator, but Vanderkerkhoff controls it in the corner. Brushed off the puck there. Tristan Gagne goes the length of the ice to retrieve, and there will be no icing.
I will tell you, Andrew, one thing that Kennesaw State, despite losing some of the time of possession battle here in the second period, one thing they've remained dominant on is face-offs.
Face-offs and breakaways. The speed is phenomenal out there. We have a delayed penalty on Kennesaw State. 15:50 left to go in the second period.
That was offsides, by the way, Andrew.
Oh, it was offsides? Excuse me. His arm went in the air. A slap shot on the right side wing. Misses wide. That was Testino on that one as the puck goes all the way back to the Owl zone where Gagne will throw it to the middle of the ice for McDonald. McDonald, nice little move there between the legs as McDonald has on the left side wing. A shot tries to go high, short side, but no, it's just a bit wide. Gagne at neutral ice. Throws it back on to Berezynski. Berezynski to McDonald, a 2-on-1 developing as McDonald, a backhanded shot, score! Ian McDonald does it himself. Was that an assist from either Berezynski or Gagne? Wait, it's a hockey assist. It's both of them. With 15:21 left to go in the second period, and McDonald with a beautiful exhibition on how to do a backhanded shot.
Andrew, I just have one thing to say about this 5-0 lead.
What is that? Lay it on me, Matt.
Yikes.
That is a yikes. I'll
That
say
is
I
a-
took several communication classes, Matt, and the word that describes this has to be yikes.
It is a large, sizable yikes.
Florida wins the faceoff after that fifth goal by Kennesaw State, and now Berezynski has it behind Luke Thurston. Berezynski, a bank pass up for Isaiah Arnold as the ref almost gets in the way of a Florida Gator, and it is Tisdale behind the net now with control of the puck. Tisdale wraps it around the boards for Moran. Moran overskates it just a little bit, but manages to tip it on back to Isaiah Arnold. Arnold loses control as the Florida player loses his stick and plays some soccer out there and gets the puck on over and almost cleared. Florida attempts to wrap it around the boards the length of it, but goes to the center of the ice, and a missed shot by Isaiah Arnold. It looks like off either the mask or the crossbar of the goal or goaltender. And another good opportunity there for KSU. Tisdale moving to the center of the ice is brushed off the puck, but Moran has it, and it's thrown back in possession of the Gators.
I will tell you what, Andrew, aside from this breakaway that Florida has right here, this 2-on-1 that is stuffed before it can even develop, aside from that, I will say that the stick handling from Kennesaw State is making these Florida Gator defensemen look pretty silly.
Make it look like they're on skates, Matt.
Oh!
They're on skates.
Zing!
I'd rather we didn't. Length of the ice, that will be an icing, and that will come all the way back down for a face-off in Kennesaw State zone with 14:08 left to go in the second period. KSU up 5-0.
Luke Thurston stretching in goal. He's like, guys, I'm starting to get cold again. I need to warm back up because I haven't been doing anything this game.
He forgot his space heater in his car. Usually plants it right behind the net.
That would be delightful. I would love having a space heater up here.
You should get one, maybe.
I would refrain. Too much power draw.
Spysinski takes this face off as Moran throws it back to neutral ice. Florida dumps it back in where Berezynski will chase this one down and tip it on back for Davis, but an off-angle pass. A centering pass is knocked neatly aside by Wes Davis, voiding any chance that Florida had at the goal right there. Hard hit there by Evan Deere as the Florida player is down on the ice. Hope he's okay after that monstrous check from Evan Deere. Matt's jaw is on the floor as we hope this Florida player is okay, because that much momentum into the boards will knock the wind out of anybody.
Hopefully he is all right, though.
Thanks, Matt.
Sorry, I was in awe. Everything now that we are back to earth.
Both members of the Kennesaw training staff and some members of the Florida team are over there checking to see if he's all right. He's still down on the ice. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but I guess if we have an update for you, we will let you know.
And it looks like he is sitting up now, I believe.
This is a bit difficult to call. I'm sorry for people at home.
Indeed.
So he is moving around, and he gets up and will skate off under his own power. Hopefully he is all right. We hate to see injuries, as Evan Deere will go to the box with 13:45 left to go in the second period.
I'll tell you what, Andrew.
You followed up an injury with Electric Avenue? That is a bold decision by the PA guy.
Listen, all I need to say, again, hopefully everyone's all right. Hopefully no serious injuries abound. But I've seen several people that are perfectly capable of living without a spleen.
After that Evan Deere hit, I don't know. That might be the case.
That, I change my answer, Andrew. That is the yikes.
Looks like that's going to be a 5-minute major, and Evan
is he getting
Deere
ejected?
looks like is ejected from play.
I don't know about that. Did it seem like a dirty hit?
I don't know. I have to watch replay.
I gotta be honest. It didn't. I'd have to see the replay again, but that did not seem like a terribly dirty hit.
We don't have enough crew for
instant
for
replay.
live replays. I'm sorry.
That would be awesome.
It's just me and Matt.
That would be delightful, though.
All right, that's going to be a 5-minute major on Kennesaw State as they line up for the face-off in KSU zone with 13:45 left to go. This penalty will bring us down to 8 minutes if I can do math correctly.
Can you, Andrew? That's the real question.
I probably can't, as Florida wins this face-off and they have it on the high point, and a slap shot let go, stopped in front by Luke Thurston as KSU manages to clear it all the way down. Florida circles on back in their own zone, is harassed there by Ian McDonald. Nearly a turnover, but Florida manages to push it up ice past the blue line. Florida down the near side of the ice. It is stolen there by Testino and knocked back into Florida's zone. Well, they will retreat to recover. 30 seconds gone in this power play so far, as KSU hasn't allowed a single shot yet. Florida moving up ice. A pass along back is through the legs of Bright and around the boards for another Gator. Florida in the far side corner. A cross-ice pass, another cross-ice pass, and fanned on it with a good opportunity there was, do I have him on the roster? Yes, Logan Hinton for Florida, and another shot is put wide of Luke Thurston's cage.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, that one in front of the net, it didn't look like he necessarily fanned on it. It just looked like he got all of it, but sent it wide, just couldn't put it home.
Well, I'll check the replay on that for you, Matt. I'll have an update later today.
Will you?
No, I won't.
Thank you.
I'm going to eat after this, and that's the only thing I'm doing.
Well, good for you.
You coming with me?
We'll see.
I hope so. 12:20 left to go in the second period with 3:35 left to go on the power play. Florida still trying to find an angle on this tough KSU penalty kill.
Yeah, they have been an absolute brick wall thus far, and there's no reason to think that that's going to stop anytime soon.
Indeed, as Florida has it on the high point now, with McDonald coming out to play some defense, and a shot put wide of the net as Bright throws it lightly alongside the boards, and it is turned aside once again by Luke Thurston, where McDonald will try to clear this one. Gagne in the corner. Tries to throw it around the boards, but it's intercepted before he can find a friendly, as Florida has it on the near side circle. Pass on down to the corner, and it is thrown around the boards to the opposite end of the ice for Florida, as a wrist shot is put on goal and stopped in front by Luke Thurston once again. 2:50 left to go on the power play, as a hard clear from Tristan Gagne sends the length of the ice and almost back up around to the blue line. It was so hard.
He was trying to pass it to himself around the ice.
Just around the entire rink. With 11:24 left to go in the second period, 2:38 left to go on this power play for Florida, as Arnold tries to dig out the puck there and manages to get it past the blue line of his own zone, as Florida now has it in theirs. Florida playing catch with Isaiah Arnold, hassling him, and he tips it back all the way to the corner of Florida's zone for another about a half clear. Florida behind the cage of Rosengard. Throws it on back to the circle as they start to push up ice once again. Florida across the blue line. A slap shot off the stick of Berezinski, where the other Berezinski will attempt to clear but cannot get all of it. And no, it is tipped in front by Isaiah Arnold, who may have a bit of breakaway here. Arnold going the length of the ice, and a forehand backhand is stuffed by Ryan Rosengard for the University of Florida.
Tell you what, good save by Rosengard there. Isaiah Arnold had all the time in the world to put the sweet, saucy moves on him and just couldn't quite make it happen.
Yes, they did. There's been no shortage of shorthanded opportunities for KSU today.
Or sweet, saucy moves.
Yes, with 1:40 left to go in this power play, as the puck goes way up in the air, as a nice move by Testino, And a backhand shot. Score! Shorthanded goal for John Testino. A nifty little move there with the backhanded riser to the top of the net. With 10:17 left to go in the second period, 1:33 to go on this 5-minute major. And KSU takes a 6-0 lead off of the goal by John Testino.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
This is something, huh?
This is something.
This is something.
Oh, man.
Florida wins this face-off as Ryan Moran retreats to try to play some defense in the Florida zone as Berezinski has it in neutral ice.
You know, Andrew, when you have a 3 or 4 goal lead, especially 3 or 4-0, you're happy for your team to do well and to beat the crap out of the other team. This, however, when you get your 6th goal and at a 6-0 score, shorthanded, it's you know,
it's something.
it's you know, it doesn't feel quite as nice.
As Florida pushes into the zone and gets 2 shots on Thurston, one off of his mask and the other off of his stick, and up and out of play for an offensive zone face-off for the Gators. With 1 minute flat left to go on this power play, 9:44 left to go in the second period.
I think we should be saving some of these goals for next game, like some of these games to come. I think we should be saving some of these, like putting those in the bank, little piggy bank.
There's going to be a few highlight reels made after the game today, I feel like.
I feel like you are 100% correct.
As the puck is cleared the length of the ice by Davis, and it is corralled by Ryan Rosengard behind his cage. 45 seconds left to go in the penalty as Florida gets stripped of the puck there by Isaiah Arnold, and moving up ice by himself, backhand forehand, and another goal. This time by Isaiah Arnold, a second shorthanded goal during this 5-minute major with 39 seconds left to go.
Not like this, Andrew, not like this.
KSU puts the extra point on their touchdown today with a 7-0 lead.
This, oh my gosh.
Matt, this is hard to watch.
I'm running out of things to say.
There are rules against this. Like,
is there a mercy rule? Is there a mercy rule in college?
I've exhausted every goal call I have with me. And I only brought 3.
That's all you normally need in a hockey game.
Yeah, except now we're up here scoring touchdowns. I don't know if that was a pass play or a run play, but the point is it went in.
Captain of the team, Drew Brees.
9:05 left to go as another turnover in Florida's zone with 15 seconds left to go on the power play.
Still putting shots on goal, too.
I don't think we're going to let up the rest of this game, Matt. It's only the second period, just past halfway through. Florida, with 5 seconds left on the power play, throws to the opposite end of the ice, and it is thrown back up into Florida zone as the power play expires, and we are back to full-strength hockey.
I'll tell you what, it looks like a Florida Gator on that last possession down in the offensive zone for Kennesaw State. Hang on one moment.
Haas, moving up ice, throws it wide of the cage and bounces high and back into Florida's zone. What was that, Matt?
Anyway, yeah, it looked like number 22 for Florida, Alex Carr. It looked like he was a little slow to get up after banging his head off of the ice. Hopefully they caught that, and hopefully he'll be all right. He looks fine now, but can never take the chance with head injuries.
Hopefully they got the blue tent over there to check him out.
There is no room for a tent, Andrew. This is an ice rink.
Very narrow bench as Gagne attempts a slap shot, but it's just poked out of his reach. But Max Haas collects in the corner. Florida tries to get some bit of offense going, but no, it is turned over to Colby Musgrave, who throws it on back to Bright. Bright sends it up off the stick of Gagne as James Barrett goes in to the corner and disrupts the play enough. A centering pass almost from Musgrave, just out of reach, and a hard slap shot. Looked like off of either the outside of the cage or a body in front. That one was by Aaron Barnett. 7:36 left to go in the second period. Score 7-0. And oh my goodness, this is one of the highest scoring games I've seen in a long time.
Oh, we have a penalty on, it looks like, University of Florida for slashing.
Okay, so because if there's one thing we needed today or right now, it's a man advantage.
I was just about to say that. I just stop calling penalties on Florida, I would say. Because this is
fresh 2 minutes for Kennesaw State.
This is exhausting.
As Ian McDonald wins the faceoff and a shot early by Vander Kerkhoff off the pads of Rosengard. as McDonald chases that one down to the corner.
I think we might just log about 35 shots on goal in this one power play until it scores.
We might. A slap shot by Spysinski, caught. Nice catch there by Rosengard, as that was screaming off of the stick of Spysinski as it's caught high over his head, and that will be an offensive zone faceoff for KSU once again. 1:45 left to go in the penalty for KSU, and 7:20 left to go in the second period.
It's always satisfying to watch a goalie like completely snap up a puck with their glove off of a hard shot.
It is.
It's really cool.
Make it look effortless.
Exactly.
KSU wins the draw as it's given on to McDonald and back up to Vanna Kirchhoff as he tries to throw it to the center of the ice. But it bounces to the corner where Spysinski will retrieve. Spysinski around the boards to McDonald. McDonald back to Spysinski. Spysinski, a centering pass, goes almost through the blue paint as it's to the opposite of the ice for Wes Davis.
Andrew, what's red and smells like blue paint? Red
Hit me
paint.
with it. Red paint.
Red paint is the answer.
All right, so it looks like Bright was taken down to the ice there. And we have
another
a delayed penalty.
Not like
And
this.
Thurston goes to the bench for the 2-man advantage with 1 minute left to go on the original penalty as Vanna Kirchhoff moves up the ice. Vanna Kirchhoff gets taken down, almost runs into Testino there. There might have been some assistance there by a Florida Gator. As another Gator will head to the box, Thurston goes back to his cage. And we will have a 2-man advantage for 57 seconds with 6:32 left to go in the second period.
5-on-3, Andrew. This is the wheels are wildly off the cart. Is all I can.
As they
is
say.
all I can manage to say here. I've been talking in a pitch higher than I've very, very rarely talking a pitch as high as I do during this game, just because of sheer astonishment for such an extended period of time.
Absolutely, as Tisdale takes that face off, and Gagne has it up top. Gagne throws it on over to Berezynski, and a hard slap shot by Gagne, almost up and over the goaltender, as there's a scrum in front of the net, and Tisdale tries to be the one to emerge, and he does in a early shot there by Tisdale. It bounces up high and into the mesh.
That was good at Tisdale there. He managed to track that puck through all the humanity in front, and in the midst of all of that, not only did he track down the puck, he managed to put one on net. Good look by Rosengard there, managing to fight that one off.
And Matt, this is just a question because I do not know the answer. Do you know if anybody is on hat trick watch right now?
I was going to ask that earlier, and I do not know.
Okay, I'll try to remember.
If anybody in the chat, actually, that's been watching, if anybody in the chat is familiar with...
I'll try to remember at the intermission who scored.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and see if we
We'll
can
review the
figure that
tapes. Florida, moving up ice, either pass or a shot is put high into the mesh with 22 seconds left to go on this 2-man advantage. 5:57 left to go in the second period. KSU still up 7-0.
Can we break the double digits, Andrew? That's the real question.
We still have about 6 minutes and then an entire period.
We have a lot of hockey left. That's a lot of ice hawk.
There's a lot. Too much, actually. Too much for this score.
You know what? I agree. At this point, maybe call a mercy roll.
KSU wins the face-off, and Gagne begins the trek up ice. Gagne crosses the blue line as Testino moves down to his left. Gagne taking his time. A wrist shot in front. Rebound by Isaiah Arnold, almost put in as he sprawls to the ice. Just unable to put the puck in the net as he was on his knees. As now the first penalty expires, KSU only has a 1-man advantage for 1 minute flat with 5:25 left to go. Aaron Tisdale breaks the stalemate behind the net and ends up with it. A centering pass in front is tipped aside by a Gator through the legs of Gagne, and a foot race now between Berezynski and a Gator is won by the Florida Gator.
You know why, Andrew? Oh, never mind. I thought you were going to say it was won by Berezynski. I was about to say, you know why, Andrew?
The Gator won it.
Oh, well, you know what you do to win a foot race against a Gator, right?
What do you do?
You run in zigzags.
Okay, that's good to know. Matt with the facts of the day. A hard slap shot by Tisdale into the chest of Ryan Rosengard, who closes his mitts on it, and we will have an offensive zone faceoff for KSU once again with 25 seconds left to go on this power play. 4:57 left to go in the second period. Ian McDonald in to take this faceoff now. Wins it cleanly back to Vanna Kirchhoff. Vanna Kirchhoff nudges it over to Davis. Davis down to Spysinski. Spysinski, a centering pass, is stopped by a Gator's stick and bounces out of the zone. 10 seconds left to go on the power play as Davis plays with it in his own zone, gives it up to Bright. Bright off the boards, attempted for McDonald, and he does get there first. Power play expires, back to full strength hockey as McDonald rounds the corner and gives it on back to Davis. Davis Nudges it over to Jeremy Van de Kerkhoff. Van de Kerkhoff, a wrist shot off of Rosengard in front, and is cleared by the Florida Gators. Puck goes all the way back around and must be played by Luke Thurston to avoid probably the slowest goal of the year, as Bright loses an edge and Florida gains control back near KSU zone. Florida enter the zone, and a lazy shot put on goal is stopped between the legs of Luke Thurston.
I thought he grabbed it with his glove.
I didn't see where that puck went. That was so quick.
But he stopped it. You better believe that.
Luke Thurston, full-time goalie for the KSU Owls and part-time fruit enthusiast, according to his Instagram, making the shutout so far as the puck is given up back into the Florida zone. Matt, I didn't know that about Luke Thurston, did you?
I did not. I knew he was an enthusiast for many, many things, but not for, like, having cool mustaches, but not for fruit specifically.
Learn something new every day.
Are we at that point in the broadcast?
Where it's just too many goals, so we're just trying to we're doing Instagram dives to fill the time.
Welcome back to the Super Gamecast Bros podcast.
KSU, that is Matt Butler in the corner as the puck goes up and almost into the bench, but remains in play as Florida goes to center of the ice. Shot knocked aside by the blocker of Luke Thurston as Berezinski controls behind the net. Berezinski up to Butler. Butler fans on the pass, and a shot in front is turned aside by the knees of Berezinski, and another shot is stopped by the chest of Luke Thurston, doing everything and then some in the net today.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what happened here, but Florida seemed to have gotten their sea legs finally and are managing to put together quite the offensive possession and sort of take control of these last couple minutes that they have in the second period. But it was a similar story at the end of the first period as well.
Slap shot there by a Florida Gator on the far side is wide of the cage as KSU collects the rebound with 2:45 left to go in the second period. Ryan Moran attempting to chase this one down. Puck thrown back to Berezinski, throws it over to Bright as Bright bounces along back to Berezinski behind Luke Thurston. Berezinski moves up ice across the blue line as he dumps it all the way into Florida zone around the top of the boards, but stays in play as Tisdale collects it and throws it in front, but just behind the goaltender as Florida gets there first. Florida emerges with the puck and starts to push up ice as Davis plays some defense there to avoid an easy ride in as he strips Gator cleanly of the puck. And Tisdale, good piece of stick handling there, gets it away. Almost goes between the man's legs as Bright is the one who eventually ends up with it. Bright across the blue line. A shot snapped up by the glove of Ryan Rosengard once again. With 1:59 left to go in the second period, KSU still up 7-0. Looks like Ian McDonald coming in for this face-off. Florida wins the face-off this time, and they control it and try to throw it off the boards to their own man, and they do. Florida dumps it into the KSU zone, where Davis will be the first one to touch it. Davis around the boards for Testino. Testino trying to go to the center of the ice for McDonald, but intercepted by a Gator there. Davis to Gagne. Gagne up to a streaking Ian McDonald, who throws it off the back of his skate, and now Florida with control.
Andrew, I'd like to point out he was not streaking. He had all of his clothes on.
Oh my God, Matt, we did this yesterday.
Yes, we did, but that game didn't actually end technically, as the puck is played by a high stick for a stoppage in play.
So we're still doing the same stupid jokes as yesterday's broadcast?
Yeah, because we didn't get to really conclude. We didn't get to bake the whole broadcast.
We didn't even get close to concluding. One period, that's a third of the game.
Andrew Leonard, the mathematician.
Yes, absolutely, who is also a communication major.
How many math courses did you have to take?
In college?
Yes.
1.
Are you kidding me?
1, freshman year, first semester. Done. Easy, just like that. It was stat, too, so it wasn't even that hard.
We've had very different college experiences.
Yes, we have. Van de Kerkhoff, a shot on goal, is turned aside by Rosengard as a scrum in the corner between two Gators and Jeremy Van de Kerkhoff is controlled by Florida.
Jeremy Van de Kerkhoff and two Gators walk into a bar.
And one leaves with the puck.
It's Jeremy.
It was actually Florida this time. Usually it's Jeremy. This time it was Florida. Florida attempts to get out of their own zone off the skate of West Davis with 45 seconds left to go in this second period as the puck goes all the way back down to the stick of Gagne. Gagne spins away from a defender, just hanging on to the puck, killing some time in his own zone as he backhands it along the boards for Davis. Davis moving up ice. Gives it on to McDonald, who crosses neutral ice and goes into the Florida zone. McDonald attempts to do it himself again, but it is stripped, and Florida goes the other way with Gagne back to defend. Gagne, nice bit of defense there as McDonald lends a hand with 10 seconds flat left to go in this second period as Florida dumps it down to the KSU zone where it is stopped by Tristan Gagne and up to Spysinski. Spysinski with 3 seconds left, seeing if he makes some late magic happen, and he does! Drew Spysinski with 0.9 seconds on the clock makes this game 8-0 off of a beautiful play by KSU going the length of the ice. And that is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, Matt. KSU up 8-0 with 0.9 on the clock. They will go to the locker room scoring another four goals this period.
They are on pace, Andrew.
4 goals each period, and that will be the end of the second. KSU up 8-0 after 2.
This is this is really something else. I don't have a whole lot of analytics to do here because it's just been complete and utter domination in every sense of the word by Kennesaw State. There have been a couple of minutes where the Florida Gators managed to put together some sort of offensive possession, but other than that, it hasn't been a whole lot of goings-on for Florida. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back for the third period of play between the Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Florida Crocodiles. Or at this point, it's like the Kennesaw State Fighting Owls versus Florida High School. We will be back momentarily. Thanks for tuning in, and stay right where you are. Welcome back, everyone, to the third and final period of play at the Marietta Ice Center, and the final period of play for the weekend for us, Andrew, as Kennesaw State, the absolute beatdown they are laying on the Florida Crocodiles has never been seen on this spatial plane. You have anything to say about that, Andrew?
No, other than the fact that we are up 8 goals, and this just isn't fair.
You're absolutely correct. And so let's run down, in case you haven't been privy to the prior shenanigans going on in this game. We will run down the goals for you right now. Hat trick watch is Drew Spicinski, as well as John Testino, I believe. Right, Andrew?
Absolutely.
Spicinski and Testino are on hat trick watch with 2 goals apiece. Then your other goals were scored by Isaiah Arnold, Ryan Moran, and Evan Deere, as well as...
I think that might be... No, Ian McDonald.
Ian McDonald. Yes, that's correct.
So 2 players on hat trick watch with 2 goals apiece. Matt, I don't know if I should throw my beanie because I like it, and I only have 1.
Well, if you only have 1.
Unless I get it back. McDonald takes this face off cleanly, and a shot by Van Kirchhoff is turned aside by... I forgot his name. Rosengard. There it is. It's been a long intermission, Matt. Been a long intermission as there is an icing, and that face-off is coming all the way back down to Florida's zone.
Again.
19-12 left to go in the third period.
Good year, Andrew, except for that whole Titanic debacle.
Oh, my. You are just so quick with those. Unbelievable. Aaron Barnett in on the face-off now as Florida wins this one, but it's back tap to Bright. And Bright with a wrist shot, turned aside by Rosengard. And now it is Barazinski that throws it around the boards. And back up to the Florida Gators. Florida crossing the blue line of the KSU zone. Nice bit of stick handling there. And a shot put on goal is stopped easily by Luke Thurston, who absolutely sandwiched that puck.
There was no chance of that one going to the net, Andrew. He sealed it up.
Yes, he did, as Kennesaw State tries to get control once again. And it bounces out of the KSU zone and is controlled by Barazinski. Throws it up to Barnett. Barnett. Shot high off the glass, and Musgrave comes in to retrieve, and it'll be Butler trying to chase this one down.
Oh, the goalie giving a shot to Barnett there. That was interesting.
And he's a little upset.
I would be, too, if I gave up 8 goals.
Yeah. Wes Davis now on the far side point. A pass to Musgrave. Musgrave just out of reach. Tries a centering pass, and it's trapped. It was not trapped. That was a early whistle there by the referee, as he did not have possession, and we will have an offensive zone face-up for Kennesaw State.
I have some questions about that one.
As do I, Matt. But
Andrew,
they can't all be answered. Reminds me of vacation. Spicinski comes in on the face-off now, where Max Haas will get the puck and give it on back to Gagne. Gagne, a long wrist shot up high off the body of Rosengard, and it is controlled by the Gators, but not before it's sealed by Davis. Florida pushes it up out of the zone, and Davis manages to get on. No, is that offside or is that a penalty? I don't know.
I think we're going to have a penalty for some reason.
A cross-check?
I don't think there's going to be any reason other than Spicinski, I believe, going to the box for no reason whatsoever.
Let's see what the call is, Matt. See if we get the information from the ref. That is... Okay, nothing. I saw a hit in the back, so I'm assuming they're going to call it cross-checking right there.
Or
and
something.
That will be, or something of the sort, as that is 2 minutes on Drew Spicinski, and Florida will be on the power play once again. But we do have 2 shorthanded goals this game. Let's see if we can make it 3.
That would be an absolute riot.
17:50 left to go in this third period, as it is turned over, and Max Haas moves up ice. Haas gives it on over to Davis. Davis controls on the near side circle, shoots it off the shin of a Florida Gator as Florida controls in the corner, but Davis, giving his all to play some defense, and does, and disrupts it just enough to kill a bit more time off the clock as Bright comes in to lend a hand. Florida cannot, yes, they do manage to clear their own zone as Haas comes back and taps it on back to Gagne to kill even more time. And a long clear went end to end without even touching the ice, with 17-12 left to go in the period and 1:12 left to go on this power play.
Gagne can send those missiles, Andrew.
Yes, he can, as Barazinski blasts this one around the length of the ice, and it is trapped by Rosengard and given on back to one of his teammates.
Even the referee was scared of that one.
He had to duck, or he would have been taken out of this game on a stretcher. Barazinski Throws it over to his brother, who clears it, but it hits a Gator up high, and it is knocked down and controlled once again.
It looked like he got his hands up in front of his face to protect the teeth he has remaining.
Yeah, that would have hurt a little bit. 16:35 left to go in the period. 35 seconds left to go on the power play as Tisdale controls this one and crosses neutral ice. Tisdale into the Florida zone on back to Arnold. Arnold, a backhanded shot goes just off the pads and outside of the cage as Arnold stays with it. A backhanded attempt is laid on top of by Rosengard.
Putting the moves on was Isaiah Arnold there, putting on an absolute clinic.
Absolutely.
Call him Dr. Arnold. And the clinic is in session, Andrew.
Moran comes in to take this face off. And it is won by Florida. 20 seconds left to go on the power play. It's turned over, and Moran throws a shot behind the cage as Florida takes control.
Tell you what, Andrew, if I weren't here and I didn't know any better, I wouldn't think there was even a power play.
Certainly hasn't seemed like it.
We've spent more time in the offensive zone than Florida has during this power play.
Probably put some more shots on goal, too, as speaking of the power play, that expires, and we are back to full-strength hockey with 15:55 left to go, as Spysinski immediately makes a play out of the box and disrupts the movement of the puck.
He almost put the puck in the penalty box.
Everyone's getting a timeout today. Florida, in their own zone, moves it up neutral ice as they throw it to nobody, and McDonald collects on the blue line and brings it in. McDonald. A shot goes high over the cage as Van Herkhoff tries to track this one down and does. Testino in the corner. Attempted pass from McDonald is stopped by a Gator, and control of Berezinski, who throws a hard slap shot on goal and is kicked up by Rosengard and into the mesh. 15:26 left to go in the third. Score is still 8-0 KSU.
You know what they say, Andrew. It's all over but the crying.
Even with 15 minutes left to go in the game.
Even with 15 minutes left to go in the entire game. I mean, unless they rapid fire and almost score a goal a minute.
Yeah, that'll be quite a feat as the faceoff is won and taken by Van Herkhoff, who throws a shot off of a stick and up into the mesh once again for another faceoff.
Just trying to pad the stats, get as many faceoffs as they can.
McDonald comes in for this faceoff. Puck is dropped, and Florida wins this one off of the stick of Rosengard, and Testino chases this one to the corner. McDonald in the corner by himself, taking a beating from a Florida Gator, but still controls the puck, moves to the middle of the ice, and a shot off the body of Rosengard. Jeremy Van Herkhoff tips it in on the rebound to make this game 9-0 off of the rebound from Rosengard. 15:07 left to go in the third. KSU with their 9th goal of the game. We're out here kicking 3 field goals to put that on the scoreboard.
Andrew, I'll tell you what, even the goal horn sounds like just kind of bored with this whole charade at some point.
It's like, oh, another one?
The goal horn was like, whatever.
Yeah, I guess they scored.
I suppose so.
15 minutes flat left to go. And it is tipped up by Butler and controlled by Florida.
See a nice clean little move by the ref there, letting the puck slide through his legs.
It was nice. It was nice.
Nice.
Florida trying to make a push up ice to get anything going if they can, but it is stolen by Gagne, and Gagne a pass off the glass to himself. Oh. And a hard check there by Aaron Barnett sends a man sprawling to the ice.
Barnett with the big hits.
Florida trying to get anything going if they can, and they move up into KSU territory. A centering pass goes just a bit wide of the man he was trying to send it to, and it goes up over into the corner. Gagne back in his own zone. Lobs it up into neutral ice, and make a little bit of a change here as the puck is sent back into KSU zone where Florida will try to play it. Gagne once again playing some good defense, and just tipped over to Bright, and Bright gives it on over to Butler. Butler sends it up along the glass back into the Florida zone, and Bright cannot chase this one down in time, and that will be an icing. 13:55 left to go in the third period. Score is 9-0. Let's see if we can make this one double digits, Matt. I mean, I'm doing everything I can up here to help out, but I don't know if that's enough. Spysinski, he's on hat trick watch, coming in to take this face off. And it is won by Florida. Florida trying to gain control, and it is pushed out of their zone by Bright, and eventually leaks back on into Florida zone where they will control.
Florida Gators with a roughly, I would say, about 4.5 second possession.
Big scrum in the corner now, and it is Kennesaw State's Tristan Gagne that comes up with it and gives it on over along the boards to Spicinski. Spicinski tries to get it to McDonald. Not quite in his wheelhouse as Florida takes control. And an attempted shot, no, it puts behind the net. And now it is controlled by Berezinski behind the net and thrown to the corner for Bright. Bright loses sight of it, and it's thrown up around the cage and all the way back, almost out of the zone. But no, it is controlled by Florida once again and sticked aside easily by our goaltender, Luke Thurston.
Woo.
Wonder how many saves Thurston has tonight.
I would say all of them. Judging by the score,
thanks.
all of them.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you for that. That lovely contribution.
No problem, buddy. It's what I'm here for.
Aaron Tisdale coming in to take this face off with 13:07 left. Florida wins it, but it goes the length of the zone and back out to the high point. Some bodies in front, and it is Tisdale that ends up with it, tries to throw it off the glass, and almost takes out some of his coaches.
Yikes. Heads up play by the coaches there.
Maybe they had an argument in the locker room and was trying to give them something to think about. 12:58 left to go. Tisdale taking this face off too. And it is Florida that wins it, but KSU ends up with control.
And
a pass up to Arnold off of his shin and in the zone onside as he controls it behind Rosengard. Arnold gives it on back to Berezinski, who shovels it on forward to Aaron Tisdale. Tisdale takes a man with him to the ice as it is controlled by Arnold behind the cage. Arnold off the glass to Berezinski. Berezinski, a long wrist shot, bobbled there by Rosengard, but eventually trapped in front as that is Tisdale. And one of the Florida Gators, I cannot see his number, otherwise I'd call out his name. That is Jason O'Connell and Aaron Tisdale getting into it.
And if Tisdale's involved, it's going to be a spicy one.
If Tisdale's involved, chances are it's going to be a hard hit in a couple minutes.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Line change for KSU as Ian McDonald comes in to take this face-off, wins it to Vanna Kirchhoff, who throws a wrist shot off of the body of a Gator. And Testino, who is also on hat trick watch, controls it in the corner. Testino spins back around, gives it on over to McDonald. As McDonald tries to spin of his own and eventually gets to Vanna Kirchhoff. Vanna Kirchhoff, a pass up to Davis. Davis almost puts it in the net. Rosengard was completely out of position, but the puck stopped on a dime, and nobody could tap it in.
McDonald is so fast.
McDonald, a nice little juke there, sends a man into the boards without even touching him, as Davis has it on the high point. A sliding defender there for Florida, and a pass in front to Testino, too hard and off of his stick, as Florida throws it into the pants of his teammate, and back out to neutralize for Wes Davis.
Oh, my goodness.
Davis sends it back to the near side corner where Testino will try to go and get it. And
oh!
That has been the closest one all year to coming up and hitting me because, my goodness, I was scared.
No, I'm talking about that hit that Testino just put down.
I was worried about my life flashing before my eyes because a puck was headed for me, Matt.
Yeah, let's be honest. That hit on the Florida Gator that John Testino put down, I'm going to be honest, not a penalty. Not a penalty. They called it anyway.
Now we're up 9 goals. Give the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they should just play the rest of this game.
I know, but
with a man advantage, but then we probably still score.
But if KSU has anything to say about it, I mean, they're going to score on this power play anyway. Drew Spicinski coming in for the face-off, wins it cleanly, and an attempted clear is stopped before it can clear the zone. As a fight for out front leaks back out to neutralized territory. Florida Gators playing with the neutral ice, and it is stopped and thrown back around to the face-off circle, where Florida will try to dump it back in. A clear there by Bright goes all the way around the boards off of the stick of Rosengard, where he will give it to his teammate. Spicinski coming in to pester.
Spicinski also on hat trick watch.
Yes,
him
he
and
is.
John Testino.
Except Testino's in the box, so if he manages to score from there, I'll be very impressed.
I mean, at the rate that this game is going, it's entirely possible that he scores from the penalty box.
That'll be a sight to see. As Florida has it on the far side point and throws it on over to his friend, and it is blocked
His
in
friend.
his friend. Yes, they're buddies off. They're out drinking together as it's thrown off of the pads of Luke Thurston.
Did they before this game? That's what it looks like.
Pass given on over to Bright and off the boards, but not necessarily a clear as Florida retains possession of the zone, but given straight back to Berezinski as he throws it down the length of the ice. Rosengard controlling in the trapezoid, as Florida has it now. Aaron Tisdale in to provide some pressure with 10:25 left to go in the third period, 45 seconds on this power play. And Moran in to play some defense. Berezinski throws it back between the legs of the referee. Nice little move there by the ref, the boy in the striped shirt, as Florida overskates it and almost hands it on a silver platter to Moran, but manages to just shove it right outside of his grasp. Florida moving back up ice with 20 seconds left to go on this power play, and almost gloved down there by Bright, but stick aside neatly by Thurston to give it to Gagne. Gagne sends it back up ice for another clear with 10 seconds left to go on the power play, and Tisdale gets a stick on it to kill some more time. Florida moving over the blue line, gets shoved off there by Bright, but not before another Gator can maintain control, and that is Gagne that ends up with it behind the net as the power play expires with Bright behind the net with a puck. Bright, nice pass up to Tisdale. Tisdale, a hard slap shot goes high up into the face of Ryan Rosengard, who just clamps it against his mask to make the save.
That would be absolutely terrifying.
I couldn't be a goalie. I'm too skittish of pucks flying at me. As evidenced by that puck that almost hit me over here.
I mean, granted, you are currently wearing zero padding, though.
I am. If I had all that goalie gear on, maybe. Hard hit there by Aaron Barnett. He's proven quite a force, too, for himself, as Florida gets the puck and crosses the blue line to the KSU territory as a shot goes off the shin of Tristan Gagne. Turnover now on neutral ice, where Colby Musgrave will take it. Musgrave dances with it, gives it on back to Barnett, as Barnett throws it back along to Musgrave. Musgrave around the boards, where Arnold is tangled up with a player and cannot get to it in time, and the Gators will take control once again. Barnett with another hit, almost dumps a man into his own bench, and Barnett drops his stick on the play. After that nice little check there. He's had a couple clean, good hits today, Aaron Barnett.
Yes, indeed he has. And I would argue that John Testino's hit was also clean, but that is neither here nor there at this point.
Hey, he's out of the box. He's over it. 8:38 left to go in the game. KSU up 9-0 as Gagne brings this one down the ice by himself and throws a shot. Very tough angle there, but almost manages to put it in, but it's stopped by the pads of Rosengard. $8:30 left to go in the game as Ian McDonald comes in to take this face off. Testino back on the ice. Matt, get ready to throw your beanie as Testino tips it on to Vanderkirkhoff, who throws a screaming shot past the cage as Wes Davis cannot dump it back in, has to retreat.
Twas a missile.
McDonald into pressure and almost turnover neutral ice. A good check there off the puck by Vanderkirkhoff, and it gives it over to McDonald, who kicks it to himself.
How does he do it?
I don't know. That's some kind of coordination that I only can dream of. A pass in front to Vanderkirkhoff just misses the puck, as that was another golden opportunity there for KSU.
Not like this. We got to get double digits.
Testino now on neutral ice.
Send it, Testino. You got this, my man.
Brings it on over, loses an edge into the knees of a Florida Gator, but not before Bright can send it on back. Florida just trying to clear it at this point, doing everything they can to avoid a double-digit game, as Davis backhands it over to Bright. 7:40 left to go in the third period, and the game as McDonald has it. Throws a backhand just wide of the cage as Testino controls it in the corner. A centering pass for Vanderkirkhoff. Throws it a little too close to the goalie as he stick checks it out. Florida moving back up ice, but now before it's thrown back as McDonald wanted desperately to go for that puck.
Wait, why stop?
Offsides maybe?
Not
sure.
Would hope not.
It's like
come on.
Is that too many? Did they call too many men on us?
Too many men on the... Are you kidding me?
All right, too many men on the ice. It is... Who's going to the box? That is Mason Bright going to the box.
Stupid.
And
Stupid call.
And a fresh 2 minutes.
At this point in the game.
For the Florida Gators.
Look, refs, we see what you're trying to do. We get it. We sympathize with the cause. But come on. Too many men on the ice?
7:20 left to go in the period as Spicinski's in for this faceoff. Wins it, and Berezinski does his best to blast it out of the zone, but it is stopped before it can be cleared. Max Haas comes in to lend a hand, and it is Gagne that clears anyway as Spicinski tries to take it himself, but it is stripped off the puck by a Gator. Florida dances neatly around a KSU defender before it's punched back out by Berezynski, and then Haas.
Oh,
Haas,
here we go.
trying to take it himself, goes the length of the ice, puts a shot on goal. Max Haas goes glove side low to put the 10th goal on the board for Kennesaw State. Shorthanded once again. That is our third shorthanded goal of the evening, afternoon. I don't know. We have 10 goals. I don't care.
It has happened, Andrew. It has happened. We were able to secure the elusive. I don't know if I'll see one of these again, Andrew. It's like Sasquatch or Bill Clinton.
Anyway, Matt, after the play, a late hit by a Florida Gator sends him to the box. So we have 4-on-4 hockey for 128.
He laid out Spicinski at the end of that play, and I can only imagine why. Spicinski always has the spicy comments, and I absolutely love it.
What a guy.
That's why we love him, and the opponents hate him.
They just absolutely hate him. The opponents and the opponent coaches absolutely hate him.
Oh, it's the best.
It's hilarious. Some 4-on-4 hockey now as an attempted clear gets stuffed by a Florida Gator as McDonald manages to gain the puck and gives it on back to Berezynski. Berezynski gives it over to Davis. And Davis moving up ice. Crosses neutral ice into the Florida zone. And a backwards pass for Arnold gets stripped off of the puck there as Berezynski goes back to play some defense. Arnold coming up on the forecheck, but it is thrown up the neutral ice and back eventually to Florida. And Davis traps it on his skate and pushes it back into the Florida zone. Davis gets tripped, and that is a penalty against Florida, delayed penalty, and we will retreat for Berezynski with the puck as Thurston comes off of the ice. Delayed penalty, Kennesaw State with the extra attacker as Arnold crosses the blue line. Arnold runs into Tisdale there, and it is touched by a Florida Gator, and that it will be 4-on-3
or 5-on-4, I believe.
5-on-4.
Yeah.
No, wait, is it? Well,
yeah.
I'll have to count the players. But anyway, Kennesaw will have a one-man advantage for 17 seconds, and then they will have a two-man advantage.
Oh no! They can't even get the penalties right. They try and call it like sympathy penalty on Kennesaw State, and they end up with a two-man advantage. It's
ends
like,
up
wait,
with a clear trip on West Davis that sent him
Yeah.
to the ice, and it's like, oh wait, I can't do that yet.
Unbelievable.
5:36 left to go in the third period as Aaron Tisdale comes in for this face-off. Tisdale wins it cleanly. Back out to Berezynski, who taps it on back to Gagne. Gagne. Hard wrist shot in front. Hits the corner as Berezynski gets over in time to trap it. Berezynski to Gagne. Gagne taking his time. First power play expires. Kennesaw State now has a two-man advantage as Spicinski comes on the ice. Spicinski lets it go between his legs, so to Gagne.
Slick.
That was. Gagne has it now at the high point. Throws it over to Tisdale. Tisdale, a slap shot off the pads. And now Berezynski has it on the right side wing. Berezynski in the circle across ice. Pass for Tisdale. Off of the pipe. Aaron Tisdale trying to get a goal of his own. But no, the left post stopped that one dead.
So very close, and I'll tell you what, that thus concludes the two-man advantage for Kennesaw State. They now have 1 minute and 7 seconds left of a one-man advantage, though.
With 4:40 left to go in the game as Florida looks to capitalize on a turnover right now as he is brushed off by Berezynski.
And sorry to cut you off, my brethren, my flesh and blood. But just a quick reminder, hat trick alert, John Testino and Drew Spicinski sitting on 2 goals. All I'm saying is there's a lot of hockey left to play.
See if they can make something happen with 40 seconds to go on this power play as Tisdale takes it himself. Tisdale gets rubbed off of the puck there by a Florida Gator, and it is thrown back to neutral ice for Wes Davis as he looks to avoid an offsides. Wes Davis brings it on back into his own zone, and he brings it up the ice over the blue line. Wes Davis loses a handle on it, and it goes into the corner, but he will collect it anyway. Wes Davis feeds it on over to James Barrett, and Barnett comes in and throws a short-range shot, but stopped by the chest of Rosengard. Max Haas, a slap shot from the point, goes wide as Barnett comes over to the corner. Barnett on the left circle. Off the skate of Davis. Davis was held up there as the power play expires with 3:30 left to go in the game. Puck sent all the way back down off of the stick of Thurston to avoid an icing, and Haas gives it on over to Bright. Bright off the stick of a Gator, over to Haas, who spins neatly away from a Florida defender. And an off-the-glass pass to Barnett, tipped on over to Haas. Haas moving up ice. tries a nifty move to spin around, and a short-range shot by James Barrett. Tried to go 5-hole, but Rosengard couldn't help but to put a hand behind himself and just barely stopped that puck from going in to avoid a goal by James Barrett.
That was a very close one, Andrew. And I'll tell you what, he pulled the Rosengard special. When in doubt, sit down.
Just sit right on the puck. Matt Butler coming in to take this face-off. And he wins it as Arnold gives it on back to Berezynski. A slap shot from the point by Berezynski goes wide and into the corner, where Arnold will try to track that one down but cannot do it. Puck goes all the way back out for Berezynski in his own zone as he gives it on over to Gagne, who crosses the first blue line. Arnold almost put into the Florida bench but stands his ground as the puck gets thrown all the way back in for Berezynski in his own zone behind Thurston. 2:40 left to go in the third period. Score 10-0. That's always just weird to say because we're commenting a hockey game. 10-0.
We're not kidding.
Butler chips it into the Florida zone as he runs a take it himself and does get there in time. Arnold trying to lend a hand, but too many Gators were in the area as they take control. Florida throws it all the way back down, and we will have an icing, and that face-off is coming all the way back down to Florida zone with 2:21 left to go in the third period.
I will say, Andrew, as the camera operator for this game, it's been much easier this game than prior games because I don't have to move the camera that much out of the offensive zone for Kennesaw State.
Yeah, just keep it in their zone and watch the shots go.
It is kind of nice.
Line change for KSU as Ian McDonald comes in to take this face-off and wins it back to Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff gives it over to Testino, but it hits two Gators and is thrown up and into the Florida bench by one of their own. Another face-off in the Florida zone, this time with 2:15 left to go in the third period. And it will be McDonald again to take this face-off. McDonald wins this one. Back to Vanderkerkhoff, who gives it on back to Gagne. Gagne off the glass to Vanderkerkhoff, but it's controlled by the Gators as they go up the neutral ice. Florida. A cross-ice pass to absolutely no one as it's played off the corner to one of the Gators. Berezynski tries to make a mess in the corner, but no, it is controlled by Florida at the high point. The Gator goes between Vanderkerkhoff's legs and a shot put on goal, turned aside by Thurston as Testino comes away from the pile with it. Vanderkerkhoff, a nice move around the Florida Gator. Tries to go forehand, backhand, a pass to Testino. Testino cannot get his stick out from under a Gator to fire the shot, and it is controlled along the boards by Florida. Florida turns it over. Kennesaw State must retreat to get back on side as Florida takes possession once again. 1:25 left to go, and a check almost into the KSU bench by Vanderkerkhoff as McDonald throws the puck back over to the Gators, who sends it back into their own zone, into the corner. Florida retreating to gather the puck as McDonald comes in. 1:10 left to go in the third period as McDonald gains possession of the Florida zone. A centering pass to Haas is just a bit wide as Moran kicks it back into the corner. Moran to Haas behind the goal. Haas fighting for possession to pass over to Moran. Moran, a centering pass attempted for McDonald, but he is brushed off by three Gators, and McDonald rushes off the ice. Tisdale coming in from the bench. A pass off the glass, off of Moran's back as he tries to throw it across the ice and is controlled by the Gators with 40 seconds left to go in the third period, and we have an offside. 40 seconds flat left to go in the third period. Score still 10-0. I guess KSU decided to cut off the intensity because they just did not want to send them home too embarrassed.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, it has been an absolute pleasure calling this shooting gallery with you.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. We will be back next weekend, same time, same place, twitch.tv/SuperGameCastBrothers at, I believe, 9:30 on Friday, and then either 1:30 or 3:30 the following Saturday. And then I believe also the week after that we have another two-game series as well.
Every weekend this month we have two home games as Bright dips into the Florida zone and a shot put right past the right post as Spysinski takes a puck off of his mask, gives it to Moran, who puts a slap shot on goal just wide right. 7 seconds left to go in the period as Tisdale has it on the left wing, and a shot off the ankle of a Florida Gator. He takes it. He goes down because that cannot feel good. That will be the game from the Marietta Ice Center, where Kennesaw State wins this one handily, 10-0. Luke Thurston records another shutout, and KSU with maybe their first double-digit game of the season. I don't know about away games.
Unbelievable.
That was an absolute incredible display of offense there by the KSU Fighting Owls. And as Matt said, we will be back next weekend, 9:30 on Friday night, and follow the KSU account on Twitter to find out what time the game on Saturday will be, and we will see you there. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, guys, once again. This has been Matt Leonard on the color commentating, Andrew Leonard on the play-by-play. Next time, I hear that the Florida Gators apologize, and they will actually send their hockey team and not the lacrosse team. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.